Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a filing from Oppenheimer Holdings. It might not sound like the most thrilling topic, but trust me, there's some interesting stuff hidden inside, especially if you're curious about where your investments might be going. Think of it as a behind the scenes look at how a company makes decisions that impact its future, and ultimately, your money. Oppenheimer Holdings just had their annual meeting, and this report spills all the details, who got elected to the board, what proposals were voted on, and most importantly, how those votes turned out. It's like getting a peek inside the boardroom after a major decision. If you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. This document is called an 8K form, which companies file to announce major events. This one is all about Oppenheimer Holdings annual stockholders meeting, which happened early this month. The main point of this filing is to report on what happened at the annual meeting where shareholders got to vote on important issues. It's a record of what was discussed and decided. The annual meeting took place on May 5th. The important thing is that only shareholders who own stock as of March 7th were allowed to vote. At this meeting, there were close to 100,000 Class B shares that could be voted. Each of those shares got one vote. Almost all the Class B shares, 98% to be exact, were represented at the meeting, meaning enough people showed up to make the votes count. At the meeting, the shareholders voted on two main things: electing directors, the people who oversee the company and guide its strategy, and appointing the company's auditors. Auditors are like financial watchdogs, making sure the company's books are accurate and honest. The first matter was electing 9 directors to the board. These are the people who are in charge of making big decisions for the company. All 9 director nominees were elected with overwhelming support. It looks like everyone was on board with the company's picks. For each director, almost all of the votes were in favor, meaning there was very little opposition to these candidates. Each received 97,348 votes in favor. The second matter was about choosing the company's auditors for this year. Auditors are important because they check the company's financial records to make sure everything is correct and fair. The proposal to keep Deloitte and Toussel as the company's auditors was also approved with almost unanimous support. The vote count was 97,348. The filing also includes some exhibits, the most interesting one being a presentation from the annual stockholders meeting. These presentations usually give a summary of the company's performance and strategy. This is a separate document filed as an exhibit. The presentation likely contains details about the company's financial performance, future plans, and other information shared with shareholders at the meeting. It's worth digging into this document for more insights, but unfortunately, it is not included in this analysis. Now, looking at these decisions, it seems like everything went smoothly at the annual meeting. All the proposed directors were elected and the choice of auditors was approved without any problems. This usually suggests that the company's leadership has the support of its shareholders and that there aren't any major disagreements about the company's direction. One thing to keep in mind is that this filing only tells us about the votes themselves. It doesn't give us a lot of detail about the discussions or debates that might have happened at the meeting. It's always a good idea to look at other sources of information like news reports or analyst opinions to get a fuller picture. In terms of risks and opportunities, this filing doesn't give us any specific information. However, the fact that everything was approved so easily could be seen as a sign that shareholders are confident in the company's leadership and strategy. On the other hand, it could also mean that shareholders aren't asking tough enough questions or that there's a lack of independent thinking. Overall, this 8K filing gives us a snapshot of what happened at Oppenheimer Holdings' annual meeting. While it doesn't provide a lot of in-depth analysis, it does give us some clues about the relationship between the company's leadership and its shareholders. Alright, that's our breakdown of Oppenheimer Holdings' latest filing. What's your take on these decisions and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.